Welcome to another Commanders Act product demo. Today I'm going to be demonstrating the data cleansing feature, which is already available through the data management and data cleansing option here. The purpose of the feature is to allow us to modify properties in a very quick and simple way, just using an interface without having to go back to our developers each time. So we don't have to actually change the integration as such. We can do the modifications directly in the user interface here. And I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate some use cases for that in a moment. What we can also do to research a bit more about this feature is just check out our specifications. We can see the data cleansing section here. And if we open up the supported transformation functions, we can see exactly what is available to us. We have the various functions that are available with some descriptions, and the various operators that are available to us also with some descriptions. If I go ahead now and just jump back into the tool, you see already in the data cleansing module here that some transformations have already been set up, but we're going to go ahead, click on new transformation, and we're going to set up our own. So this opens up a small catalog of different sub-features. Available to us right now are the rename event sub-feature and modify property sub-feature. Renaming event is exactly as it describes, where it allows us to rename the event if required. And the modify properties feature, which is the far more powerful of the two, is what we're going to focus on today. If I just go ahead and select this, it's then going to open up a short interface for me that allows me to define which properties I want to modify. But to begin, we just have to create a name for this transformation. So we're going to go ahead and select purchase event modification, because that describes exactly what we're going to try and do today. So the first thing we need to do is select the source data we want to target. So available to us are, on the highest level, all sources on all environments, means we basically target all data which is incoming. We can also drill down by the various environment. So just targeting all the sources we have on development, for instance, or on the most granular level, we can select the individual containers. For today, for simplicity, we're just going to stick with all sources on all environments, meaning all data. Following this, we need to filter down yet further and define exactly what the matching condition is. So which payloads are we going to target, and then which properties are we going to transform? The matching condition is going to be a property, in this case, the event name. We need to select our operator. In this case, we take is, and then we're going to select the value that we want. So in this case, purchase. So whenever the event name is equal to purchase, we're going to be transforming some of the properties within that event payload. What we need to do next is actually define those transformations. So if I add a row, we're going to start by tackling something which is, I think, relevant in general nowadays, which is the hashing of PII data. Let's say we have a user email. The user email is unhashed in this case, so this could cause us problems. So what we want to do instead of this user email is just create ourselves a new property. We're going to call that hashed email. And then we have to define what this new property actually contains. So what we're going to map that to essentially, or what we're going to provide as a value, is going to be our user email, which is so far unhashed. Right now, this wouldn't work, of course, because the hashed email would still be unhashed. So we need to jump in to our wizard over here to provide us with some functions to allow us to modify these values. So if I open up our wizard, stepping away from the property, you can see that we have all of the functions and the operators that I showed previously in our documentation. They're all available to us here in a list. So we're going to focus now on hashing, and therefore we need to find our hashing function. So we're going to take the hashing function and just put our property inside. So this applies that function to the property each time, And therefore, our hashed email property, our new property now, is going to contain a hashed version of the email address instead. If this isn't enough, there could also be a case for adding some validation steps onto this hashing. And just to demonstrate how we can stack the functions on top of each other, I'm going to go ahead and just add another function in here. So we're just going to use the lower function, which would then make sure before we hash, just making sure this user email is always in lowercase. And on top of this further, we could also maybe trim to make sure that there's no white space that we don't want either side of the email before we're hashing. So now we have our new property, which has the validation steps also and the hashing on top. Moving on, something else we might want to do is combine two of the existing properties together. So in this case, we're going to focus on adding a full name into our payload if we didn't already have one. So we define this new property and we need to set the values. So I'm going to focus on a German convention here, adding the last name first. So we're going to go user, last name, and then we need to use a typical syntax here to add our separator. And then we're going to combine this with our user first name. So demonstrating a bit more of the functionality available to us here, you can see that we can also easily add properties together to create an entirely new property in our outbound payloads. And last but not least, we're going to actually delete a property. So as we already discussed, this email address here, the unhashed version, could cause us problems. So now that we have our hashed email address, maybe we want to just go ahead and delete it. If we select the user email here, very simply, in our operators in the middle, we can just select delete. This will then delete the initial user email unhashed property after we have already created our hashed email. You'll also notice that we have some that we haven't really touched on here, which is a mapping operator. So we can change the mapping of the various properties, or maybe create a new one and map it to an existing property directly, or we can rename a property if needed. Let's just stick with delete for now, and we're going to save our transformations. Now we see added to the list, we have our purchase event modification transformation. We see that it's applied on the purchase event, and we see that it's applied also on production staging and development, all sources. The events processed, we see a 0 right now, meaning no events have been processed with this modification yet, but this is a tally of all of the events that have been targeted. So you can see for a previous transformation that there are over 6,000 events that have been modified based on this rule. Now, in order to check if this has actually been a success, we need to jump into our sources and live events inspector section in order to just see the inbound data and just check if those transformations are actually taking place. So we've jumped through into our event inspector so we can check the inbound data, and we can see if we add the properties in the overview here, if we add the properties that we've created. So we created a full name property, we created a hashed email property, and we also modified the user.email property, removing it. And then we can just scroll down and we can see our full name has been created and applied. We have our hashed email, and the unhashed email has been appropriately removed. So jumping into our event inspector, we're going to just check on those properties and see if the transformations have taken place properly. So let's just add our full name to the view. We're going to add hashed email to the view, the two that we created. And we're going to add the unhashed email address to the view as well to make sure this is being appropriately removed. Maybe we also want to make sure that we're looking at the correct event. So let's add event name as well. So if we come down to a purchase event, which we can see here, we can also see that the full name has been added as defined. Last name, comma, space, first name. The email address has been hashed. Also, with no spaces on either side, presumably, and all lowercase, which we can't actually validate here, but we know that we have the hashed email address nonetheless. And the unhashed email address has been removed. So this was the demonstration of the data cleansing module. I hope it was informative.